Hey there and welcome. My name is Brian Bonebrake, and if you've been following along in my Becoming a Creator series, we've talked all about naming your organization and deciding whether or not you should um, choose an LLC or sole proprietorship. We talked all about branding yourself. We talked all about which platforms might be the best choice for you. We've covered financial information and how to organize your business's finances. It's been quite a journey, and we're actually nearing the end of my Becoming a Creator series. I have one more episode planned where we're going to put all of this together into a complete picture, and I'm pretty excited about that. But then after the Becoming a Creator series, we're actually going to dive into more tactical things. Exactly how do you launch your brand on a Twitch or a Twitter or a YouTube or a product-based company on Shopify or Squarespace. I really plan on running the gamut on technical stuff, covering as many of the platforms as I can with more how-to videos, concepts, statistics, analytics, best times of day to post, just strategy stuff, in addition to pulling together highlight streams where we have conversations with viewers on my Twitch channel, where we have really interesting conversations. I remember just the other day, we talked to somebody who wasn't really interested in streaming or making videos for YouTube for their favorite game, but wanted to know how they could improve the PvP community. And we were able to share a bunch of great ideas, which ended up revolving around a well-thought-out website that at the end of it, we even figured out how to monetize. And that's just a small sample and specifically a nerdy one, but we talk about a lot of really interesting things on my Twitch channel as well. And if you're just catching this video because I have a catchy title, then great, welcome. As I said in the beginning, my name is Brian Bonebrake, and I have been a content creator and business owner on and off for about 4 years now. I own 3, maybe 4, depending on how you count it, businesses to this day, a product company, this social platform that I own. I also own another sort of book and reselling organization where I flip products as well. So I have a lot of experience building businesses, organizing and formalizing businesses. And when COVID hit, I was really kind of shooken up by the fact that not a lot of people had diversified income. And I was just thinking to myself, I did this stuff because it was fun, because I wanted to know what it was like to build a business and to grow a business and to potentially make some extra money while doing it. And I never really thought that would go anywhere. And when COVID struck, I just kept talking to people, and case study after case study of person after person just losing their job and not having diversified income streams. And I felt obligated to use my platform, to change my platform, because if you've caught me in the early years, it was all about video game stuff. And I wanted to change it to leverage not only my personal experience building businesses, but my personal and professional experience in working with Fortune 500 companies in sales and in marketing, and help convey this and organize this in a way that makes sense for anybody to dive in. And I really wanted to lower that barrier of entry into business ownership and help people monetize their passions and their hobbies. And so with that, I decided to rebrand my channel as to what you see it here today, and it's been pretty exciting. And right now, actually, I'm making this video live on Twitch. And if you would like to be part of that, I always encourage you, check the links below. Come swing by the Twitch channel every Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday, where we start our conversations off around business. And then, of course, subscribe to that YouTube channel where I post videos weekly. I'm actually trying to build a buffer to the point where I can start posting 2 or maybe even 3 videos a week. And then if you want to follow along on Instagram and Twitter as well, I encourage you to check out those platforms. But today's conversation is all about monetizing. probably the thing people are most interested in. You got to wade through all of the boring analytical stuff, all of the you have to do it stuff to get to the point where, okay, I want to make money off of my platform. And again, this is just my process and my thought process, really, because I'm an engineer by trade and by education, and I always like to cross all my T's, dot all my I's, follow a process before I get to this point. And there will be a lot of people that might give you a different advice, like day one, do this, monetize your business, and then worry about all the logistics later. And sure, you can do that. There's not much wrong with that. However, I'm of the mindset, much like a house, build a strong foundation first, and then start building the walls and the structure, and then build it from the outside in. And you're going to have much better structure and organization to your business. And so that's why monetization is coming near the end of this series. So without further ado, let's talk a little bit about the different ways that we can monetize your platform. So we're going to be covering a lot of different services out here. You're going to see some logos that you're familiar with, maybe some that you're not familiar with. I really decided to break this out into 7 different categories of monetization, all depending upon your platform and what you're trying to sell. We're going to break that out actually by difficulty. So this was a really fun experiment. So I originally listed all of these in a way that just off the cuff I felt was most difficult. But as I started laying out the steps to activate and get each of these running appropriately, it started to become clear that my order was wrong off the cuff. And one of the ones that was really surprising to me was ads. What it actually takes to turn on ads for your different platforms. And ads was one of the most interesting one because it kept getting pushed further and further down the list as far as difficulty, because each of the various platforms out there require a lot of groundwork before you can start running ads, except for one, which I'll cover during that time. But I felt like these were the 7 most common platforms or ways that you can monetize your platform. So we'll walk through these, but they're going to be tips, affiliate marketing, streaming platforms, monthly recurring revenue, blogging, ads, and finally, e-commerce. So starting with tips, I rated tips at a difficulty rating of 2 because it's really easy to just start collecting tips. Regardless of what your business is, if you're playing music at a bar, set up a PayPal QR code on a sign next to you playing guitar, or your Venmo QR code, or you can use Cash App. All of these services have different QR codes or links that you can put out there for people to be able to tip you. So I made mention of, a musician in a bar. You can be a Instagram influencer, a YouTuber, a streamer, a Facebook personality, even a LinkedIn. If you're creating your platform on LinkedIn, including something as simple as, hey, help support the channel. I've included a link below, and you can start collecting tips right away. It's really simple to set up. You just create accounts in PayPal or Venmo or Cash App or a variety of other services, but these are probably the 3 most popular. And then post the link out there and shamelessly plug away. Let people know that that link is there and that it supports you as a tipping infrastructure. So a pretty easy, low impact way to be able to start collecting money regardless of what your solution is. Obviously, this is going to play a little bit better to a service type or entertainment type platforms than maybe if you're an e-commerce website. You're probably not asking for tips, maybe donations in some cases if you're trying to promote a cause, and you could still leverage these solutions here as well. The next is going to be affiliate marketing. I rank this at a 3. There's a few hoops you have to jump through. You do have to apply for affiliate programs, but most acceptance is automatic. I personally have Amazon associate link and an eBay affiliate link. B&H has one. Even some of your favorite clothing brands, like some of my favorite t-shirt and sock and underwear subscription services out there that I personally like to use, all have affiliate programs. And the way these work is you push out your affiliate link to your various platforms. And again, this can be in multiple forms, mostly digital forms. You're going to see this on your Instagram accounts or your Facebook, a lot of your social media accounts, your YouTube videos. You can post the link below, like I do in my YouTube videos. If you want to see the gear I'm using, even I have a section for swag coming soon. You know, I'm waiting until a certain point before I start putting affiliate links for the various, t-shirts and clothing and stuff that I like to wear, because we'll make more videos on this, but I'm a bit of a minimalist. So taking the complexity out of thinking about what I have to wear was a huge relief from me. So things like that, post them below in your videos, post them on your social media profiles. These are just ways for people to continue to shop as they normally would and benefit your platform. So if you're an artist and you really like certain paints or pens or canvases or Lux packs, if you're a photographer, or software, you can always post those to your Instagram or to your website and provide links back to the products that you use every day and people are interested in. They're going to want to know what microphone I'm using or what lights I have up on the wall or what's in my computer or what's going on with my mixer. All of these things, people will have questions, and I can simply point them to the link below and they can go check it out, get one for themselves if they want, or with a lot of these affiliate programs, that link is actually good for 24 hours. So anything they buy in the next 24 hours after they click your link, you'll get a small kickback or commission based on the product category. They're all going to fluctuate, and usually anywhere between 2 or 3% all the way up to 10%, depending on the program. And so it's just a really easy way for people to support your channel without changing their habits, without buying things that they normally wouldn't buy on platforms that they're commonly using. And as far as the setup of this, it's super straightforward. You sign up for the accounts, fairly automated, as I said earlier, and then you're off to the races. You generate a link, you start posting them in your platforms, and then people can use those, and you get a kickback. There can be some caveats. I know for Amazon, for instance, there's a requirement of selling at least 3 items in 180 days from acceptance into their program. And so if you don't do that, they actually shut down your account, and it's really hard to reopen, if not impossible. So be wary of the fine print and make sure that your platform is in a position to be able to start taking advantage of those affiliate marketing links. So next up, I'd like to talk about streaming platforms. Streaming platforms are going to be very specific to, YouTube and Facebook and Twitch and, rest in peace, Mixer used to be on the list, but we all know what happened there. And there's 2 main platforms that come with the streaming world that you're going to see out there. You're going to see Streamlabs and Stream Elements. This channel personally uses Stream Elements. There's certain things I like about it a little bit better than Streamlabs, but I've used both. And they are sort of an all-in-one, like truly a platform, meaning they're going to help you monetize your stream. They're going to help you set up alerts. They're going to help you create products and merchandise for your platform. So if you are looking to collect tips on your channels or bits, or you're going to create that sweet t-shirt or mug that has your logo on it, these 2 platforms here are really going to be able to help you create those products for your channel, as well as have an interactive stream. So when people subscribe or tip or follow your channel, you can have those alerts that pop up. And then they also are a way to collect the funds for those tips and the merchandise as well. So this is all besides the monetization possible through the platforms directly. So for instance, subscriptions or bit donations that you get with Twitch, for instance, or subs that you can get with YouTube and with Facebook as another example. So these are very targeted to this specific niche, but they're going to be the two most popular platforms. And I rate this at a 4 difficulty simply because there's just a lot, but it is fairly simple. There's a lot of guides out there. These companies have all done a really good job about creating videos to help you walk through first-time setup, as well as a ton of other content creators out there, myself included, have created videos where we walk through the platforms and review the platforms, and it can give you some additional insight. So all of the material is there. You just have to find it, and it's actually really easy to, even if you were just to click around, navigate the platform and really find what makes sense for your channel as far as those alerts and those tips and merchandise that you might want to take advantage of for your stream. The next one I want to talk about, I'm calling monthly recurring. This is going to be services like Patreon or Ko-fi. There's other similar services out there, but these are probably the 2 most popular that you'll see. And these can be a little bit more difficult if you really dive all in into the specific platform. I did rate it at a 5 because to get started, it's fairly simple. You can create very low tiers like donate $1. I really appreciate your help in keeping the platform running, or just a couple bucks, and then you can escalate those tiers and start providing rewards for your viewers. So a lot of times what you find is ranges from digital products like access to a special Discord channel, or you might find that another popular one is physical products. So at maybe a higher tier, they give you a t-shirt of a special design every month or every quarter. Another popular one is special content. So you get a private vlog or blog. You get special videos that are only posted on this platform, or special pictures that are only found on these platforms. And they're mostly there for monthly recurring donations or tips. It's always kind of interesting to figure out what the right terminology is, but it would be like pay $5 a month and you're at this tier, or $7 a month and you're at this tier, or you see where I'm going with this, right? And then Ko-fi specifically, I like to point out they have an interesting sort of one-time tip process, and I thought that was kind of cool because not everybody wants to subscribe to $5 a month, and they don't really want all the tiered rewards. Maybe they just want to give a one-time tip. And one of those things that their whole shtick, you can probably tell from their title, was buy me a coffee, right? And that's a really interesting way to go about it. So they give a couple options. They give a one-time tip as well as a monthly recurring opportunity for creators out there. And you're going to see people like that run podcasts and YouTube channels, and artists and musicians and even developers like game developers. You're going to find out there on these sorts of platforms, and they're a very great tool. And I almost encourage everybody to take advantage of this, even at a basic level. And not everybody's streaming and can collect monthly subs. So why not set up something like this that can help monetize or fund your passion and what you're creating out there? And I rate it at a 5, but it can slide up in difficulty very quickly, because depending on how seriously you take these platforms, you are going to have to create original content in higher tiers. For instance, one thing I considered was a hat or a t-shirt series, and I wanted to make them unique and to make them, one, cost effective to fans and your audience. You also have to make it cost effective for them, right? So there's all these balances that you have to come in or think of. And if you're going to be doing a vlog or some video content or a special podcast that's only released on these platforms, that again could take a bunch of work. So there are ways to streamline it. One of the most popular ones that I see is early releases. So if you're a podcaster, for instance, you could simply give those that are a Patreon or a Coffee subscriber a 1 week early access to your podcast. Is a great way to go about that. And, artists, they'll do special behind the scenes videos that you can only find on these services as well. So you can see them make the art before they sell it or post it on their e-commerce site. So there's a lot of different ways that you can use it, but getting started is fairly straightforward. Create those accounts, set up some basic tiers, and figure out your reward structure. The next one I'd like to talk about is blogging. I rate this one at a 6. It's not quite as complicated as the next two, which are going to be e-commerce and ads, but you still are having to create original content. And this is why I rate it at a 6, because with blogging, there's a lot that goes into it to monetize it. You're going to have to really think about the content you're writing, because you can write what you're passionate about all day, every day. But if nobody wants to read it or they're not interested in it, it's not going to be a platform that draws in people to read and thus take advantage of some of the monetization strategies you can with a blog. And I'll talk a little bit about those here in a moment, but I really want to emphasize this point. And this applies to really all content creation. It's a Venn diagram, right? You have one circle of what you're really interested in. You have another circle that what others are interested in. And in the middle is where your content is going to be successful. So once you have that out of the way, the next thing you really have to take into consideration is SEO, or search engine optimization. With search engine optimization, you have to make sure you're putting in keywords. Think about what people might search, like how to do something is a really popular search. How to, hang a picture. Let's call it the simplest one I can think of. How to hang a picture, right? People are going to Google that like crazy. And when they Google that, you're going to want, if your blog is all about how to hang pictures, you're going to want to make sure you have those keywords. If you're avoiding words like hanging or hang and picture in your entire blog about hanging pictures, then it's not going to show up in search. And then there's a bunch of meta tags and things that you can do when you're setting up that particular blog post that help with search engines finding your post as well. So there's a technical piece there that I always like to say that increases the difficulty. And it's a real monetization. It really only occurs when you start looking at affiliate marketing and ad revenue to really up this. So some of the other ones that we've talked about with affiliate marketing, getting those links, putting them in your blog. So again, let's use the hanging of pictures example. You're going to, talk about maybe the type of nails you like to use, or the hammer, or the hook that goes on the back of the picture frame. I don't know why I know so much about hanging pictures. Maybe I should start a blog about hanging pictures. But nonetheless, you're going to probably feather that stuff into your writing, and you're just going to put links in there. I really like this hammer when, hanging my pictures, right? So if you put that affiliate link in there for a product that you can verify works or that you use, people are going to click on that affiliate link, and they might buy that hammer that you use. And then if not, that link is good. Remember, for 24 hours. So anything else that they might buy after clicking your link help contribute. And then we'll talk a little bit more about ad revenue, but you can, again, further monetize your blog through ad revenue. And this is kind of what I call a day two availability monetization strategy. Every other one that we've talked about prior to blogging so far has been a day one monetization, meaning you can set it up day one and start collecting money right away. This is all obviously provided that you have a following, that you have a customer base, right? But with blogging, you have to have that original content. You have to know how you're going to structure your blogs. You're going to have to figure out what people want. And then you got to set up your affiliate marketing. So you got to wait for that to process. You got to set up the ads, and that can take some time and some research. So this can start to escalate in difficulty very quickly, especially when you start getting into the ad space. Now, I don't mean to scare you with ads. There are plenty of great guides out there, but it is a technical endeavor. And a lot of times you can find this is going to be more traditional marketing as well. So you're going to be really trying to think about what people are interested in. You're going to be thinking about, how do I get the message out about my blog? How do I optimize a lot of strategies? These are going to be more of those traditional marketing endeavors that when it comes to a specific blog. And then I do want to make a special mention of medium.com. So they're going to be a little bit of a different blogging platform, different than WordPress or Blogger, in that they have a partner program. Basically, you can join this partner program free of charge, become a writer for the platform, and then they have their users. Their users can pay a $5 monthly fee to get unlimited access to all the articles on Medium. And they're meant to be specialty articles, that really driving intellectual articles in a given space. And they're going to have a bunch of given spaces by science and technology and so on and so forth. Writing, videography, picture taking. So they're going to have all of these different categories. And any non-member can, I believe, can read a few articles before they don't get access to any more articles and have to become a member. But then when those members read those articles, they actually divide that $5 that they pay a month to be a member amongst the articles that they read. And they do it by time read. So if that member only reads 2 articles and one of them happens to be yours, you would get $2.50 because they spent 50% of their time on the platform reading your article. And some writers for Medium.com have made a tremendous amount of stable and recurring income with the Medium platform, but they approach it differently than a traditional blog or blogging platform, which relies on affiliate marketing links, ad revenue, and optimizing the platform for SEO. And you're still going to do that with Medium, optimize for SEO because you want people to find it, but the way you make money on it is going to be a little bit different. So the next one is the one that was the sticky wicket for me. This one kept moving. I think I originally had this as the ranked 3 in my list, so difficulty 4, because I just kept thinking about Twitch ads. And since I'm a part of what I do is Twitch streaming, Twitch ads is actually really simple. You just have to become an affiliate, and I was already an affiliate, and so I was able to start collecting ad revenue. And in my mind, I was like, oh, that's easy. It's not easy. It's not easy at all. If you see here, there are some tremendous minimum requirements in many of the platforms. If you look Facebook, you have to have 10,000 followers to your page. And that means posting videos natively, not reposting your YouTube video. Now, that's a whole nother strategy and topic we'll talk about, because you can kind of repost your YouTube video, but you have to post your video natively on Facebook. You have to grow your page to 10,000 followers, and then you can start monetizing with their ad platform. YouTube, you have to have over 4,000 minutes watched and 1,000 subscribers in a 12-month period. And then even with Twitch, I was already an affiliate, so that's why it felt so simple for me. But even then, there's a minimum requirement: 500 minutes broadcast in 30 days, 7 unique broadcast days in that same amount of time, 3 average concurrent viewers in that same amount of time, and finally, at least 50 followers. So this is definitely not a day one monetization. This is going to be a day whatever into the future. However long it takes you to grow your platform to these minimum requirements before you can even activate monetization on your platform. And that is something that that really escaped me. From a difficulty perspective, a lot of these platforms, it's not too hard. It's a couple clicks of a button, you accept their agreement for ads, and now they start feeding ads into your video and you start collecting an income. YouTube can be a little bit more difficult because you do have to get into the Google ad program. You have to sign up for that, and then you can activate monetization. But Facebook and Twitch are fairly easy to activate monetization on those platforms, ad monetization on those platforms once you've reached their minimum commitments. And I think that's the difficulty part. That's what really ranks this up to a 7. You have to have a mature platform that's ready to accept ads before you can run ads. And that's the most groundwork. From a tactical perspective, I'm going to be creating future videos that talk to you exactly about how to turn on ads and deep diving into these analytics and some tips and tricks to keep in mind when activating ads on these various platforms. But for now, just know ads is a very viable way. It's where YouTubers find the most, well, I shouldn't say the most revenue, because there are other ways to earn a lot of money. Affiliate marketing, for instance, on your YouTube videos, or merchandise, for instance. That's another one. On your YouTube videos or off from the platform you're creating. But with Facebook and Twitch as well, there's those minimum requirements. So just keep these things in mind. There is some technical hurdles to jump, but the technical hurdles aren't the difficulty here. It's growing the user base. But just know these are very viable options, and there's a great opportunity to earn additional recurring income off from your ads, because especially if you're making evergreen content on Facebook and YouTube, for instance, that isn't dated, right? Like what happened on August 26, 2020 is a very specific type of video versus, you know, a long lasting subject. Like, we're going to keep going back to it, how to hang a picture, right? That's going to be a valuable skill set far into the future. And that's going to be something people Google all the time and search for all the time. So evergreen content is going to, even from an ad perspective, is going to continue to bring you monthly recurring revenue, but it is kind of its own niche because there's a special skill set and knowledge required to activate these and really get the most out of your ads. Lastly, but definitely not least, I would say to monetize your business is e-commerce. This is 2 of the 3 businesses I own are in the e-commerce space. And I know firsthand that they are very difficult, especially if you're making your own product. If you're not making your own product and doing something like drop shipping or reselling, then it can be a little bit easier to do what I feel is the most complicated part, coming up with your own product and getting that out there. I think this is why I rated it so highly. It takes a lot of market research. It takes a lot of understanding how to manufacture a product, how to ship, how to land, how to distribute that product. That's in and of itself a ton of work. Even if you have sort of a reselling situation, that takes a lot of work too. Now, is the concept simple? Sure. I go find products for a low price and then resell them. That's a fairly simple concept. Resell them for what people will buy at a higher price, right? But you still have to do the footwork. You still have to do the research. Where can I find these products? What is a good price? What's to find it at and buy it at? And what can I then, turn around and sell it for and have it make sense for the amount of effort it required to gather that product? Now, if you're an artist or a musician, this is, again, that's years and years of experience culminating into a product that you're finally able to make. You've matured in your skill set as an artist or a musician to finally be able to produce something that people would be interested in procuring. And that, again, just takes time. This is definitely not a day 1 or day 2. This is years of preparation, in some cases, or months and months of research. In other cases, just to understand what it is you're going to physically sell. Now, there are some easy strategies, which I told you about during like the streaming platform. If you have a cool logo or, like a shape or something that kind of represents your brand, you can then slap that on a piece of merchandise and sell that. and people that want to be part of your community and following are going to gravitate towards that. And that's one way to easily brand yourself and market yourself. But what we're really talking about here is more original products. And the platforms you're going to leverage for things like that are going to be Pinterest and Etsy and Shopify and Squarespace. Those are probably the 4 most common ones that you see. Pinterest and Etsy tend to be more creative. Shopify and Squarespace, they tend to be more physical products, but I know Squarespace is also really good for digital products. Same things with Shopify. And I have experience with each of these platforms. The one I mainly use for my products today is Shopify, but that's not to say that's the right answer for everybody. I've explored and looked at various other platforms based on what I was trying to do. So most of the difficulties in this is going to be finding the right product. The tools are out there to easily create a web presence. Shopify and Squarespace have a very, very easy to understand tools that will walk you right through posting the first pictures of your product, adding descriptions, and then even acquiring a domain and getting off to the races with little to no technical savviness. Basically, you're following some online instructions. I make the joke, but it's true. If you know how to read and you've ever filled out an online form before, you can make a website with these tools. And Pinterest and Etsy are going to be a little bit different. They're almost like an Instagram for your creative products. And so you're going to have to take good pictures of your products. You're going to have to post them out there. You're going to have to use good tags and a little bit of SEO with those out there for people to find them, because people are going to make Pinterest boards of what their favorite art or products look like. And same thing with Etsy. They're going to go out there. They're going to follow some of their favorite artists or creators, and then pick up their products as new things are posted. So Etsy and Pinterest are a little bit more artful, I would say, where Shopify and Squarespace are going to be a little bit more traditional e-commerce platforms. And so this is going to be, I mentioned traditional marketing on the blogging side. This is like the truest sense of traditional marketing, right? You're going to run ads on your products, like Facebook and Instagram and Twitter ads, and you're going to even run Google ads on your products, because you're going to want people to know about the thing that you're making. You can even run like billboards and things like this. Like, this is traditional marketing and advertising, and because it's a physical thing. So just think about all of the products you interface with on a day-to-day basis, and where do you see them? You see them in commercials. You see them in ads in your social feeds. You see them in paper or billboards. Not to say these all make sense for your product, but these are the things that you're considering because it is a physical thing. Then we talked a lot about the logistics side, but just driving that home, the logistics of creating this product, you really need to figure that out. It might be really easy to 3D print something in small batches, but then all of a sudden your company explodes to you're selling 1,000 units a day. How are you going to do that with your little home 3D printer? How are you going to distribute that? You're going to sit there and lick envelopes all day and send those out? Maybe you're making enough doing it. It's worth your time to sit there and lick those envelopes and send it out. That's a thought, but you really want to think about how your business is going to grow and how you're going to grow with it and how you're going to handle the demand as it grows. So again, increasing the complexity of this. And then finally, it's just sell, right? You got to work the systems. You can create different programs like wholesale programs or distribution channels. This is going to be your traditional product-based organization, and it is something that we will dabble in and we'll talk about in more specifics as I release more videos. We do try to keep a lot of this into the digital realm, so I can definitely talk a lot about how to get these up and running, things to keep in mind from ad perspective from a digital realm. I'm just not too sure if we're going to dive deep into the physical side of this, but we might, because I have a lot of experience there. But my passion is in the technology. So that is what I consider the 7 most popular ways to monetize your business and your platform. So regardless if it's in social media, if it's in physical products, if you're an artist, you're a musician, a genius inventor, or you're a personality, an educator, it doesn't matter. With these platforms here, you should have a strong foundation in understanding how to monetize what you're trying to do, regardless of the avenue. And if we're going to deep dive, like I said, from a more technical nature into a lot of these over time. But again, with this Becoming a Creator series, I wanted to do a high level flyby of what it's like to build your business to start. And that's going to be the strong foundation that we build. And then from there, we're going to start doing those specifics. And a lot of it, like I said, we're staying in the digital realm. We're really helping you be able to monetize from home. So if this pandemic continues or another pandemic strikes, or if you're watching this video 3 years from when I posted it, hey, guess what? 3 years ago, there was a pandemic. But these will work for you. My goal is to make evergreen content that's going to work for your strategies and monetizing your platform. So if you enjoyed this video, consider hitting that subscribe button. It means a ton to the channel. We are a growing channel, rebranded, relaunched. So we're still in that early phases. So all of the support means a ton. And if you are wondering about the technology I'm using, check out my links below. They're my Amazon associate links, and they are also available for you to see the products I use and how I use them. And I've created little kind of kits or sections of everything I use for streaming or for making videos. And then finally, catch me on my social media platforms, Instagram and Twitter. I post on Instagram multiple times a week. Twitter is where I keep the conversation alive. And then if you're catching this video right now live on Twitch, one, hey, thanks for hanging out with me today. But two, you can catch me every Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern time, where we start the conversation off all about business. This happens to be a special episode where we recorded a YouTube video live, but I show you exactly how I do this, what goes into the process, what goes into structuring these. So if you've ever wondered what it's like to create content and to grow a business from scratch, I'm taking the Gary V approach here. I'm documenting myself creating this entire platform for you, and I'm doing it all free of cost. So the way you can support are simple follows and likes. So again, appreciate all the time, appreciate all of the support, and until next time, take it easy.